This episode is brought to you by Awake Organics.
Hi and welcome to an edition of I Really Need to Clear Out My Veg Drawer. I've had the idea for a stir-fry sauce kicking around in the back of my head for a little while, doing like a hot and sour. I'm going to use grapefruit for the sour part of it. I bought a bag of spring greens about a week ago and they need using up. And I've seen a recipe for Brussels sprouts and grapefruit, so I'm hoping that spring greens and grapefruit's going to be quite a nice little dish. So yeah, nice little collection of veg that's way past its best, but will still taste delicious. In my saucepan here, I've got sesame seeds, black sesame seeds and nigella seeds. These are to sprinkle on the top, so I'm going to start these toasting. I'm going to put them on 4, so it's a sort of medium heat. And I'm going to set my timer so I don't forget. You just want to keep those moving around. These are the greens that I'm going to use. These are a really nice hardy veg that you can keep in the fridge for a couple of weeks at least. And they're about 80p a bag. You get loads of them. Break off the leaves from the stem. And you'll be left with a little niblet at the end. Put that to the side. Give these a wash. I'm going to blanch mine in the microwave for a few seconds. So I've got a glass dish with a lid that will fit snugly. These take a little bit of prep, but not loads. All you need to do is put it, I like to put it darker side down, and then slice out the big stem. And now chopping this stack of leaves into kind of centimetre pieces. That's what you're after. If you have any that have got really discoloured edges, just trim that off. If your stack of leaves gets a bit unwieldy, just roll it up on itself. I'm going to blast it in the microwave for a minute and then mix it together and put it in for another minute. This is the greens after a minute. So I'm going to get my hands in. It's going to be a little bit warm, so just watch your fingers. And you can see they're slightly wilted. And I'll put these in for another minute. This is after 2 minutes. So yeah, much more wilted, softer. So I'm going to put the lid back on. And then just put it to the side. I'll juice the grapefruits. You don't have to do it in this order, I just want to get them out of the way. So just cut them in half and then juice them. I've got ruby grapefruits. I don't think it really matters what kind you use. I've just remembered that I forgot to do the rice, so I'm going to do that now while I remember. If you're thinking about asking what the best way of cooking rice is, the answer is a rice cooker. I've never been able to have any luck on the stove. There is a way of doing it in the microwave. If I can find the link, I'll post it in the description for you. Much easier. Feel free to sieve the juice if you want to, but I don't mind the bits. And that'll be quite nice in the stir fry. Rest of the veg now. So I'm going to do 3 little carrots. And because these are a bit old, I'm going to peel them. I don't normally bother, but they just can be a bit bitter. Bit of oil at the bottom of this pan, so just mix the veg through to get it all coated. I've got 300 grams of mushrooms, chestnut mushrooms, but you can use any kind. A nice and easy way of prepping them is just to pull the stalk out, break it down a bit, and then just tear it, or you can slice, however you like to do it. I'm doing the mushrooms in a separate pot, just so I want to try and keep the flavours quite pure of everything, and mushrooms can affect the flavour if you cook them with other things. But do feel free to do it in the main pan. Just brown off the veg and then put the mushrooms in because they're going to release a load of liquid. Putting these on a medium-high heat, so on a 7, mine goes up to 9. This is like a very non-stick pan, so there's no oil in this one. But in your pans you might need to add a bit of oil. And then just let those start frying off. I'll pause here and introduce you to Awake Organics, who are the partner for this week's episode. And they've sent me over a fantastic little box packed full of their amazing products. And even just the smell of it from here is incredible. Really delicious smelling products. The company was created by Melissa Kimball, who was sick of all the plastic and controversial ingredients that are in a lot of cosmetics. All of the ingredients in the products are organic, and wherever possible, it's sourced from UK suppliers because she wants to keep money within the local economy. As much as possible, they've tried to get rid of plastics from their products. So for example, this shampoo powder comes in a metal container. So once I've used all of that on my hair, I'm going to pack it up with spices and that's going to go in my food cupboard. Yay! They've sent me a shampoo and a conditioner. Now with the shampoo, this is actually a powder. So if you're trying to travel light, if you're having to go through airports and you want to, you're limited on your 100ml bottles, that could be a great solution. Got a brightening serum for my face so I can keep on looking youthful. And I've got 2 scrubs. One's for the scalp and one's for the face. So there's going to be lots of polishing, buffing and beautifying going on in my house soon. Not only have they sent me a little goodie box, they've also sent you a 15% discount code.
So head over to awakeorganics.co.uk and use Rachel15 to get 15% off your order.
So with radishes, if you've got the nails, you can just dig your finger and thumb in and remove the ends. If you don't, you're going to have to use a knife. I've got a gentle heat under the grapefruit juice now. It's on about 5. Start that warming through. I'm still plotting the flavours as I'm prepping the rest of it. And the radishes, cut into quarters, halves, whatever you feel like doing. Got a small handful of green beans, so there's maybe, 100 grams, something like that. Okay, the sauce, let's have a think. I'm going to use some sriracha hot sauce. This particular one has got lemongrass and kaffir lime leaves, so it's quite aromatic, which I don't particularly like as a hot sauce, but I think as a flavouring it might be quite nice. Perhaps a teaspoon to start off with. I'm going to chuck in the radishes and green beans. Got some baby sweet corn. I'm just going to chop that into quarters lengthways so it's nice kind of spears. Forgot the garlic, didn't I? I'm putting, it's kind of 3 cloves of garlic into the sauce. I've done some of them in lengthways spears and the rest I'm going to do in just rough chop. Once the mushrooms are at this stage, you can see the kind of all the liquids evaporated and they're getting a bit of browning on them. Back to the sauce. Give that a try now it's warm with the garlic in there. This needs something salty. I'm going to use brown miso paste. You could use soy sauce or just salt, whatever you've got. I'll do, it's about a teaspoon, well, maybe half a tablespoon to start with. This is very much down to personal preference, so don't take this as a hard and fast. I'm going to pour in the greens. I still want it hotter. I don't want to use more of the sriracha because those other aromatics are just going to layer up rather than giving me the heat that I want, or just the heat. This is from Singapore. It's a lemon chili sauce. It's very hot. If you don't have this, you can use chili flakes, chili powder, cayenne pepper, any kind of hot sauce, Tabasco, anything like that. You use like half a teaspoon. It's very potent. I'm using some of this coconut honey. I want to balance out the heat a little bit with a touch of sweetness. Not much, maybe quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon. Once the mushrooms are at this stage, so they're nice and golden, I'm going to go in the main pan. Picked up some of the vegetarian butcher chicken style pieces. So I'm going to add these in, just tear it up. I really enjoy this brand. They're not paying me to say that, it's just the truth. Stir it through. In this bowl I've got maybe 2 tablespoons of water, something like that. I'm going to make a slurry with some cornstarch. So I'm going to put in about, that's maybe a tablespoon. I'm going to stir that together. I'm going to pour half into the sauce. Let that thicken a little. I'm going to add the rest of that in. It's always best to do a bit at a time, just so it doesn't go too thick. I'm going to chop down the spring onion, just to sprinkle on top raw. Here's where we are with the sauce. So it's thickened, but it's not going to a bit more actually. Just added another quantity of cornstarch again, same proportion. Here's where we are with the sauce. So you can see, nice and gloopy. Pour this over the veg. stir to mix it in. I'll take you over to the Instant Pot so you can see. These are cardamom pods that I put in, just gives a nice little bit of fragrance to the rice. And then I use a fork to fluff it. I'm sprinkling over a little bit of toasted sesame oil, just gives a really nice flavour. Some of those spring onions and some of those seeds. Dive in. That's incredible. All those different flavours really sing together. Lovely sourness from the grapefruit, that punch of chilli, a touch of sweetness, and then you've got all the different lovely vegetable flavours, and then of course that oil and sesame seeds on the top. That is a delicious dinner. There's loads of delicious little textures in there as well. So you've got crunch from the radishes, a bit of chew from the spring greens, and then the nice soft tenderness from that fake chicken. All in all, not a bad quick little dish if you get home from work and you suddenly decide you're starving. For more ideas on how to get the most out of your citrus fruits, why not like this video and then hit subscribe, tap the bell icon, and we'll see what else I can serve up.